Hello YouTube, have I got a treat for you? Today we have our guest star. This is our youngest daughter, Anna. You might recognize her from Nathan's farming videos. She sometimes makes guest appearances there. She is visiting from Iowa City. Say hello, Anna.
Hi everybody, good morning. Yes, I'm home for the weekend and today we're gonna bake a birthday cake.
And the reason we're gonna bake a birthday cake is it's one of our birthdays. Happy birthday, Anna!
Thanks, Mom.
So I'm gonna make her own birthday cake. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna make this a 3-layer 8-inch cake. And I like to line my cake pans with parchment paper. So I've cut some parchment paper and I've folded it into thirds. And we're just gonna set one of the pans on it, hold it down, run a knife around it, and then grab a scissors and cut it out.
Oh, see, that's really smart. I did not know how to do this. I haven't been home for my birthday in like 4 years, since high school. And every year I make my own birthday cake because my beautiful mother is not around.
Sorry.
But I don't know all the tips and tricks, so this is very helpful for me actually.
All right, once we get that done, I do spray the pans and dust them with flour. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. Okay, so I went to get my cooking spray out of the cabinet and it appears to be empty. So we're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. I've already buttered this one. I just take a partial stick of butter, run it around the sides and the bottom of the pan, and then add a little flour. I don't measure this, I just put some in, shake it around a little bit so it coats the sides and the bottom. And then I dump it from one to the next. And while I'm doing this, she'll put the papers in them. And that way, when we go to take these cakes out, they will be all easy to release.
Mom's much better at this than I am.
All right. We're gonna set these aside and then we'll get our mixer and get our ingredients around. All right, we've gathered our ingredients and the first thing we wanna do is preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So I'm gonna run and do that. All right, I'm gonna read the ingredients and Anna's gonna put them in our mixer. This is my trusty mixer, which shall not be named by brand. You may notice that there's a piece of blue tape here. I really need a name for this mixer, so I'm going to count on you guys to submit some ideas for my fuchsia mixer, and then we will officially name it. All right, we like to bake cakes starting with a mix. So I have a basic white cake mix, but that's very plain. So we like to doctor it up, and I will explain what we're putting in there. And we're gonna start with one white cake mix.
The whole thing?
The whole thing.
Okay.
And then we'll just turn the mixer on low. And we're gonna add to that white cake mix 1 cup of granulated sugar, 1 cup of flour, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, and we'll just let that mix a little bit. Those are all of the dry ingredients, and then we'll start adding the liquid ingredients. So the first thing I have is 1 cup of milk.
Is butter in this? No?
Well, some residue butter.
Oh, sorry.
1/2 cup of buttermilk. 2 tablespoons of butter. One cup of sour cream.
Okay. What does the sour cream do for it?
Sour cream just gives it a nice rich texture, adds to the crumb. This is gonna enhance the basic cake mix and make it more like a homemade cake. It's gonna add extra batter. We are using 3 pans, so we do want the extra batter. And then to that, we're gonna add 4 egg whites. If you would rather, you can just use 3 whole eggs. That will color the batter a little bit. It'll make it more yellowy. So if you want it nice and bright white, we're gonna use
Egg white?
just the egg whites, and that keeps the color out of it.
That's the only reason you don't put the yolks in?
That is the only reason you don't put the yolks in.
Okay.
All right, this recipe does not specifically call for vanilla, but I'm a big fan of vanilla, so I am gonna add a teaspoon of vanilla to this. It's just gonna enhance the vanilla flavor of the cake. And then we're gonna turn the mixer speed up to just a low medium. And we're gonna mix that for about a minute. Doesn't have to mix real long. All right, once this is mixed for about a minute, maybe a little bit longer, we'll go ahead and turn the mixer off. And then we're gonna divide this into our 3 pans. Do you want to do it or do you want me to?
I can do it.
All right, Anna's going to divide these into our 3 pans perfectly evenly.
How's it looking, Mom?
Looks good. This one needs some more.
Yeah.
We're gonna bake these at 350 for about 20, we're gonna start with 20 minutes and see what they look like. I always like to set my oven timer just 3 to 5 minutes ahead of the time because I'd rather underbake it than overbake it. I can always add time, I can never take time away. So our oven just preheated, perfect timing, looks fantastic, Anna.
Sorry, I'm not a professional. I'm really new to baking still.
You're doing great.
Okay.
All right, let's get those in the oven. Does it matter? Oh, got a pan in there. Sometimes I do that. All right. Oops. You want them spread out a little bit so that the air has room to circulate around them.
Okay.
And then we'll set our timer for 20 minutes. All right, while our cake is baking, we're gonna go ahead and start the frosting. The bakers do frosting kind of our own little thing, and it may or may not be the same every time we make it. So today, we're doing a hybrid buttercream with some shortening in it. We're using equal parts butter and shortening. For this, I'm using a cup of butter. A half a cup is salted and a half a cup is unsalted. And then we're using a cup of shortening. And we're gonna put those in the mixer and we're gonna beat them for 4 or 5 minutes till they turn nice and white and creamy.
Okay, this butter needs going?
Yep. I use the paddle attachment. You probably can use the whisk attachment, but I just always use the paddle.
This, what else needs going?
The Crisco.
Okay.
All right, the reason we are mixing the butter and the Crisco is because of the texture of the frosting. The Crisco gives it a little bit more stability, and it's just nicer to pipe with. And then the butter gives it a nice rich flavor. I don't like to use all salted butter because it makes the frosting too salty, but I do want a little bit of salt in. If you would rather, you can use both salted, you can use both unsalted and add a little salt. I think it is important to have a little bit of salt because it cuts the sweetness of the sugary frosting. So we're gonna go ahead and mix this up really, really well on a fairly high speed. Go ahead, Anna.
What do you want it at?
Start with 5 and then go to 7. So this is starting out sort of a creamy color, but the more we mix it, the whiter it's gonna get, and that's gonna give us that nice white frosting. It's gonna be nice and fluffy and creamy. It just takes a little bit of time. It's been mixing for about 2 minutes and it's already starting to become whiter, which is exactly what we want to see. All right, this has been mixing for about 5 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and slow it down. And I'm gonna scrape the sides down before we add the rest of our ingredients. It's nice and white. It's exactly what we want to see. It sort of amazes me how the yellow butter turns white, but it's all about incorporating air, and turns out really good. Now I'm going to turn it back on slowly. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of white vanilla, and I use white vanilla because it won't color the frosting. If you don't have white vanilla, you can use regular vanilla. It might just give the frosting a tiny bit of a yellowish tint. Then I have powdered sugar, and we're gonna start adding that. And I don't have an exact amount.
Measure with your heart.
Yes.
Go slowly, right?
Yeah. It's okay. And while I add that, I'm gonna add a little bit of heavy whipping cream. I have probably a half cup here. I'm not gonna use that much. A couple of tablespoons, maybe 3. Go ahead and add the rest of that. We may need to get more. You want to go slow here so that you don't have poofs of powdered sugar all over your countertop, your kitchen, your clothes, your face.
I remember one time, I must have been in high school, I wanted to make whoopie pies,
Yeah.
and I did it by myself, and the recipe called to alternate putting the flour in and the milk. I didn't know what that meant, I don't think, and so I think I just put all the flour in and it went whoosh, and I was like, oh no. Okay, that's everything.
Now we're going to just turn this up a bit. Medium. And we're going to let it go for another minute or so. Our timer's going off for our cakes, so I'm going to go ahead and check them. And you can use the toothpick method, but I'm just going to use the fingertip in the middle. If it springs back, it's done. These look perfect. I'm going to go ahead and take them out. 1. Oh, check this one. That one could cook just for a minute more. This one's done. So I'm gonna take these 2 out. I'm gonna center this one. I'm gonna put it back in. Different oven temps, different ovens vary just a little bit. You might need to cook them a little bit more than I did. You might need to cook them a little bit less than I did. But when a toothpick comes out without any liquid, or when it comes out clean, they're done, or when it springs back in the middle after you lightly touch it. So I will cook this one for about 1 minute, and then they'll be ready to cool. All right, my timer's going off. I'm gonna check this cake again. Yeah, it's done. So these were in the oven for 20 minutes. I put this one in for just 1 extra minute, honestly. It didn't take long. But again, your oven might be a little bit different than mine. So we'll get back to our frosting. All right, our frosting's been mixing for a couple of minutes here. We're gonna turn it off. We're gonna check it for the texture, see if we like it for frosting a cake. And gosh, it looks just about perfect. That will frost a cake and pipe really well. So the only thing left to do here is to taste test it. Anna, you want to go ahead and do that? Yep. Tastes good. All right, now that we have our cakes cooling and our frosting made, we're sort of waiting for the cakes to cool completely before we do the next step. So the frosting can just be covered and sit out on the counter. The cakes can be covered with a tea towel and also just cool completely, and then we will go ahead and frost them. All right, we're back and we are ready to assemble our cake. Let me just preface this by saying we are not professional cake decorators, not even close. So don't expect professional results, but we do it with love. So we have 3 cakes. I'm going to take the first one out of the pan. I'm going to put just a little bit of frosting on my board or my cake plate to kind of hold it. I'm going to remove the parchment paper. And I'm going to set it right there. We're going to frost this with some of this buttercream we made earlier. And we're going to kind of hang it over the edge. So we have something to hook onto with our frosting when we go to frost the sides. All right, just like that. I take my second cake. And it's pretty flat, so I'm going to use it just like that. Center it. Put another layer of frosting on. Same thing. Push it over the edge so I have something to hook onto with my frosting for the sides. You can put more frosting in the middle if you like. We don't like that much frosting, and since there's 3 layers, there's going to be a lot of frosting anyway. Third layer, take that parchment off. This one I'm going to do upside down so that I have a nice flat top for my cake. I don't use rulers and all kinds of fancy equipment. It is what it is. And we're gonna frost this one exactly the same way. Some people put their cakes in the refrigerator before they frost them, and that's fine. We're not that fancy here. Oop. Now I'm gonna work on the sides. Again, I am not a professional. You always want to try to keep your frosting pushing ahead so that you're not getting crumbs. I'm not really good at that. I tend to get crumbs in my frosting, but the good news is it tastes the same with or without crumbs. Alright, once I have a basic coat, I'm going to go back and fill it in. Sorry, I'm not having my spatula to the camera all the time. Alright, so basically what I have just done is a crumb coat. I ended up taking some of the frosting off because I completely forgot we wanted to color the frosting blue, green, sage. So this is a crumb coat. We're now in the process of coloring some frosting and hopefully we will come up with a sage green color. We've never made sage green, so we'll see how it goes.
We'll see. Online, it shows you what colors you need to mix in order to get the color you want. None of the colors that I'm mixing are green though, so we'll see if it comes out to be what I want it to be. So we're gonna do 4 drops of yellow. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 drops of blue. 1, 2. This says half a drop of brown, so I don't know how we're gonna do that, but
Maybe the edge of the spoon.
okay, we'll try that.
And about how much frosting do we have in there? How much you're supposed to use?
I have no idea.
I'd say we have about 1.5 cups of frosting.
Once again, measure with your heart.
It's all an experiment in the Baker household.
Oh no, is this good or bad? Ooh.
Oh, it's working.
Okay, trust the process.
Cool. Science.
It's not quite what I want it to be yet though. This is like minty.
A little more brown, maybe?
How do we fix that? Maybe. You think?
I think try a little brown.
Okay.
So we put in roughly 1/2 drop of brown. Now we're putting in the other half of the brown, the other half drop of the brown to darken this green up just a little bit. I think that's working. I like it.
Yeah.
Typically they're going to dry just a little bit when they set up. It sets up just a little bit darker. I think that's a great color.
I want it darker though.
Okay,
Sorry.
Let's go for some more brown.
It's my birthday.
It's her birthday.
Okay. Oops. I'm gonna do
darker?
some more. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm having a hard time seeing the color in the light. Do you think it's still too minty?
I don't, but it's your birthday.
I'm gonna do more. Sorry. 1, 2, oops.
We will never be able to replicate this color, just so you know.
Yeah, I wasn't counting. That's okay. We better have enough. Okay, I like that better. Okay, can I do it?
Absolutely. I'll just tell you what I usually do.
Yeah, what are your suggestions?
I usually take a scoop of it, put it on the top, smooth it out, go over the edge.
In the middle?
Mm-hmm. A little bit more. One more.
Okay.
That's probably too much.
Fine. Okay.
Smooth it out. Don't be afraid. And go all the way over, yeah. You can spread it out as much as you want. You can go over the side and we can work from there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because there's... That's good.
Okay.
Right?
Then
We
you're
can
just
fix
gonna
the top later, right?
Yes. Then we're just gonna hook some onto the side. Just keep pushing it forward. Yep.
I gotta fix that one.
Don't be afraid to get a lot on there.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'm gonna have to come back.
You're fine. You're doing fine.
Okay. Oops.
You're fine. Don't worry about the top. Just keep covering.
Okay.
Just keep pushing it forward.
We could do leaves too, Mom. Maybe. Oops.
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Ah!
I promise it's going to be okay.
I know it is. Okay. Woo! Kind of. Okay. Now I gotta finish this bottom. Looks a little rough right now. That's okay.
It's going to be fine.
Trust the process once
right.
again.
You're doing fantastic.
Thank you. I feel like a professional. Usually I just am, in my apartment, crappy apartment, and I don't have any of the right tools, and I'm trying to use my butter knife to put the frosting on.
It's all right. Next year's birthday, cake decorating tools.
Yeah, that might be on the Christmas list. I think I bought like a pack from Walmart, but it's very minimal. Oh, there's a lot there. Oops. Okay, how do I fix this now?
Okay, so again, no, we are not professionals, but, whoops, see? I'm just gonna add some up here. First thing I'm gonna do is kind of smooth in and always scrape my blade on my bowl. Go in from the outside, scrape. In from the outside, scrape. I know I scraped some off there, so
Okay.
I'll fix that. And then same thing on the side. You want a clean blade. You can spend an enormous amount of time doing this, or you can just go with what you have. And that's the kind of person I am. So it's really just always pushing it in one direction, smoothing your blade. Some people dip their blade in hot water or wipe it really thoroughly. We are not getting paid for this project, so we are just novices.
Yeah, Mom's been doing it for 50 years, novice.
Well, it started because I was too cheap to spend money on birthday cakes. So I said to myself, Self, you're gonna figure out how to do this by yourself. What do you think?
Well,
We'll probably put an edge on here.
oh yeah, you're right. So it's probably fine.
And on the bottom.
Well, I want to.
You go ahead.
Okay. I kind of like the rustic
lines.
look.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I do too.
I kind of do. I want to fix this.
Okay.
And this. Well, I guess we just said we.
It's okay.
Sorry.
While Anna's doing that, I'm gonna prepare a piping bag. These are just disposable 12-inch bags. I'm gonna cut the tip off.
I like that. It looks a little rough, but I like that. So some people like nice and silky smooth, but
Those two couplers don't go together. Looks really good. All right, this is called a frosting coupler. The big part goes inside the bag. And you just push it down through that hole. Like that. Need to cut the bag just a little bit more. And then you pick your tip out. And we want a scalloped tip for our outside. A shell tip. It's gonna look like this, roughly. I like the bigger ones. There are some smaller ones. So you set that on the outside of your coupler. Put the ring on, screw it in place. Would you like the border in green or white?
I don't know. Do you think there's enough green?
I think let's use white.
I think there's not.
Oh,
And then we can use this for leaves or something.
Yes. Then I'm gonna hold this and in my hand, and I'm gonna make sure there's an opening there. And grab my white frosting that I have left. With a spatula, I'm gonna put it in this bag. And I'm gonna shove it in there. And as it gets full, I will bring the sides up a little bit more. You don't want to overfill it because that will be a disaster. It will come out the top and you will have frosting everywhere.
Yeah, if you've ever done this with children, You know exactly what that's like.
Yes. And a tip, if you are doing it with children, and it's fun to let the kids help, it really is, take a rubber band and secure the top really well. So for this, I'm going to start it, Anna's going to finish
I was
it.
going to say, I want to do it, but I want you to show me how to do it.
So I'm going to start, oh gosh, camera. I'm going to start on the bottom.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you want to hold it like this with your thumb and your forefinger by the ring. And these fingers are going to be adding the pressure. This hand is going to twist this top, and it's also going to add pressure. You mostly want to press from the top. And I'm going to press and swipe, press and swipe, press and swipe. Now, I have a little bit of an essential tremor, so my shells are not perfect.
Oh, Mom's way better at this than I am. Mine are so bad.
And the thing about it is, nobody's gonna notice that.
Okay, you press
And pull
and
back.
swipe.
Yep. Right on that tail. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. Good job. It just gives the cake a nice finished look. Good job.
Oh, why does that not look right?
That's okay. No one's gonna notice that.
Yeah, I know. Me, I will. There's always a front and the back to a cake. And it's where you start and then
Where you end.
Yeah, you gotta find which side looks the best. And then hopefully the border on the top matches the bottom. It's a little messy. That's okay. We're learning. Swipe.
Good job. Good job. Now for the top, you're going to basically do the same thing, but you're going to do it a little bit smaller. Some people will change tips. I'm not that. I'm not that fussy. So I'm going to just do the same thing on the top. If you get it too far off the edge, it will fall off. So you want to kind of keep it on the top. Perfect.
Hers is so much cleaner than mine is.
Again, 40 years of practice.
Okay. Small.
It's okay.
I'm not doing this right.
There's no right or wrong way.
Yeah, that's better. Oh, no, that's not right. Oh, got a little off track.
It's okay.
Okay. What's going on?
When you switch people in the middle of a project, it's always going to look different because everybody does it just a little bit different.
Oh my gosh.
Here's the thing. We just like having fun with it. It's not about perfect.
No, I know it's not, but okay. You know, sometimes I think I can go on the baking shows and I'm, you know, oh, it doesn't look that hard, but this is really hard. Oh gosh. How do you?
If it's something you really want to get into, watch a lot of YouTube.
Okay. Oh, that was good.
But not ours.
Just got a little off track.
And,
this is the back of the cake.
Take a plate or the bottom of a cake pan and just keep practicing. Scoop it up, put it back in your bag, and keep practicing. I think it looks fantastic, Anna. I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Mom.
Now we're gonna attempt to make a few flowers.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I want to put flowers on the cake, and so we're gonna make them out of the buttercream, the frosting. And so we changed out our tips. We're still using white, and we put tip 104 on, and it's slanted a little bit, so it allows you to make different designs than the shells. And so I'm just gonna do some petals here and move in a circular motion until it kind of resembles something that looks like a flower. And then once we get enough of them, we're gonna put them in the freezer so that they set up and get hard so that we can place them on the cake. Ooh. And you know, there's no method to the madness. It's just whatever I think looks good. Oh, that's not good. That's okay. Oops. Kind of looks just like blobs, but that's all right. I want to do a small one. How do I do that?
Very good. I've taken some of the green frosting and I've put a small round number 2 tip on the end. And all I'm going to do with that is go in the center and make a bunch of little dots like the centers of flowers.
That's pretty. Okay, I had an idea that didn't work. I was gonna do different sizes. I'm not gonna do that again.
Try some leaves.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to change this tip by uncoupling it, taking it off. I'm going to put a 352, which has got a little V in it. And this, hopefully, will make some leaves. I'm going to hold the points up and down. And I'm going to go right in here.
Oh, don't connect them.
You don't want them connected?
No.
Okay. And I'm going to pull it out like that.
That's cool.
Now Anna's going to try. Pull up more.
up.
Yeah.
Are they not supposed to sit on the parchment?
They can.
But to give it
Go slower.
slower.
Pull slower.
That's not right either.
Fatter at the bottom, and then release your grip as you go out.
Oop. It's all right. Leaves come in all different shapes and sizes.
At least at the Baker House they do. Now we're going to put these in the freezer for 30 minutes or so, and then we'll place them on our cake.
Okay, we just pulled the flowers out of the freezer, and I'm going to use a knife to just gently pop them off the parchment paper so that they're easier to move around. And then decide which is where the front of the cake's gonna be. I think here.
Yeah, this should be the back.
Yeah. And then place them however I feel like it. Oops. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Ooh, those are still kind of sticky. No exclamation point. There we go.
Looks great, Anna. Super
Thanks.
proud. This is the final product. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Baking Bakers. Thanks to our special guest, Anna Baker, the birthday girl. Please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, share it with your friends, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anna. Happy birthday to you.
Oh!
Yeah. Kind you make white vanilla. Oh my gosh. Maybe I shouldn't cut into the flowers.